What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Manchester City 2, Brentford 1. Far from comfortable. I think the scoreline probably on both sides doesn't reflect the game. That first half here, that first half has to be, other than the Villa game, the Villa game last season, that has to be one of the worst halves of football I've watched for Manchester City. Given the opponent, given we were playing at home. Yeah? Please don't forget to smash the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. The amount of times, it's almost like Brentford came out, 22 seconds in, boom, goal. And what John Stones is doing, I don't know. Like, we're going to have a conversation about him a little later in this reaction, by the way. I don't know what John Stones is doing. Just put your foot through the ball. If it goes in rosette, who gives a shit? It's 20 seconds into the game. It's 20, 30 seconds into the game. Even then, if you just leave it, Edison probably just saves that. Edison picks that up. Then no problems. But I don't know what he's doing. He literally just screwballs it into as a Wissa's direction, header. No, literally, he was never going to miss that. 1-0. And then from there, we were just... It's almost like I used in the watch along. I said, it's almost like we as a boxer, you world champ, you undisputed world champ. You coming in against a guy who's decent, but you are the heavy favorite to win the game, given how you've been fighting the previous fights. And you come in and the guy catches you early on, square on the chin. He rocks you. And then all of a sudden you just become, discombobulated, where you just woozy. You don't know where you are. You don't know what's going on. Because that was us. I thought after Brentford scored, it would switch on, kind of like how we did against Ipswich. Kind of like how you normally see Man City go about their business. Normally, if they concede, especially early goal, normally they just pick up the tempo real quickly. But that didn't happen this game. It was almost like we were just discombobulated. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know who was doing what. The press... Brentford were literally just playing past our press with so much ease, so comfortable. Just literally, they looked like Man City in that first half. They looked like they were the home team. If you didn't know the two teams, if you came from Jupiter, and I told you to sit down in that first half, and one of these teams has won 4 out of the last 4 Premier Leagues in a row, won a treble 2 years ago. Arguably one of the greatest teams we've seen. Which of the two teams is that team that I just explained to you? If you come from Jupiter, you probably say Brentford, because the way they were moving, the way they were passing through the press, I think our press was really not very good. I don't know if the guys didn't know who was supposed to be going, who was supposed to be staying, because every time somebody went, there was a guy literally left wide open, and Flecken was just literally playing these school balls just right over the press, where it was just, and Brentford were in midfield or running in on attack. And I'm just like, yo, when somebody presses, when somebody goes, someone has to cover that space that person has left. But it's almost like the guys were just going by themselves. Okay, I'm just going to go. It kind of looked like how Manchester United press, where they don't press as a team. They just, Bruno Fernandes just goes, woo. And then everybody's just like, okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? That's what it looked like in that first half. I think Brentford will be really disappointed that they only scored 1 goal in that period where they were really, really good. Because they had, maybe not chances, they had some really good opportunities where they probably should have done a lot better and could have probably scored maybe 1 or 2 more goals. Because in that first half, the amount of times they were just running at our defense, one pass through the middle and they were in. It was, I was sitting there thinking, wow, I've never seen Manchester. I didn't have that Villa game. And Aston Villa, a really good team. Coming into this Brentford game, I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't do a preview because I was really busy. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a tough game. We're probably going to have to break down a really low block because how Brentford play. But that wasn't the case. Brentford came out and they pressed us. And I'm thinking, when I saw Brentford start to press, I'm like, okay, we'll be fine, because I know we can play past their press. We couldn't. They were were playing past our press pretty easily. We couldn't play past their press. We were struggling to play past their press in that first half. And again, thank God for Erling Haaland. Because literally, there was no tactics. It was just simply Ederson looking at Erling. 60-yard goal kick. Erling Haaland is in. 2-1. The first goal is literally out of nothing. And this is why when people talk about Erling Haaland saying he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, he doesn't do this, I think we're in a generation where people are just obsessed with looking at what a certain player or a certain individual can't do. Oh, well, he can't do this, he can't do this, he can't do this, he can't do this. Okay, let's talk about what he can do. Let's talk about what he can do. And what he can do is stick the ball in the back of the net. What a centre forward is supposed to do. Literally, one chance, boom, goal. Out of nothing. That was not even a chance. That's probably like a half chance. A little bit of a deflection, 1-1. Man City had no business being 1-1 in that game because we were terrible. And then a couple of moments later, Ederson, long ball, Erling Haaland in 2-1. Man City, for the first time, I think I can comfortably say, we scumbagged the 2-1 lead in that first half. Because we were terrible. We scumbagged the 2-1 lead in that first half. We were awful. But that's why you have someone like an Erling Haaland. That's why Erling Haaland, for me personally, won us that game. Because if that's somebody else, other teams, Haaland, Jesus, he's probably not scoring those two. Maybe, I don't even think that second one is available because the way Erling Haaland plays, the way he's built, I don't think Gabriel Jesus or maybe Zirkzee, but I don't see that. I don't think anybody is in that position to be able to bully Pinnock the way he did. 2-1, Man City have no business being 2-1 up. Absolute scumbagged it. And at halftime, I'm thinking, okay, we need some subs here. Because John Stones, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to start having some serious conversations on John Stones. The guy looks like he's running in mud. The guy looks like he's running in mud. That quickness is gone. Look, I think he was decent in the Euros. I don't think he was sensational. I think he was decent. So I was thinking, he was decent in the Euros. Wasn't top class, but he was decent. But I think that was masked by the fact that the Euros is not really fast-paced, high-tempo. Most Euro games that I watched were pretty slow and lethargic. Pretty boring, to be honest. Where the Premier League is quick, the tempo is high-paced, back and forth. And John Stones in that first half, I think he was better in the second half, but in that first half, he just looked out of it. Not only did he look like he was running in carbo sand, in beach sand, in mud, he looked like he was discombobulated. He looked like he didn't know what the hell was going on. There were times where he just looked like, okay, where am I? Some of the decision making, I'm like, what are you doing, brother? That brings me on to his partner in crime, Mr. Kyle Walker. Where last season, I said at the end of the season, I think we should get rid of Kyle Walker because he was just as terrible in the Euros. How he made that Euro 11 is unbeknownst to me. But Kyle Walker has been terrible. I think Kyle Walker, look, I'm not taking anything away from Kyle Walker. I think Kyle Walker, his pace has masked a lot of things. Because his defensive awareness is terrible. His decision-making is not very good. I think, obviously, players, because attributes is what make a great player. Like, if Lionel Messi was 6'5", I don't believe he would be able to dribble like that. And be able to change pace, change direction that quickly. Because he's 5'6", low center of gravity allows him to be able to do that. Where Kyle Walker, obviously, attributes, pace, that's his attributes. But I think Kyle Walker's pace has masked a lot of weaknesses, a lot of holes in his game. He's not good going forward. His awareness is terrible. His touch is about as subtle as a gun. And I think he might have impacted John Stones' play today. Because some of his touches, man, I'm like, yo, some of his touches, I'm like, yo, a professional footballer with a touch that is about as subtle as a gun, playing for Manchester City. I think we need a right back. You can't just keep... And then people said that, oh, but we need him for Vinicius Jr. Guys, you can't have a guy in the team getting paid whatever Kyle Walker's getting paid, just to sit on the bench, just to have him there. So if you do play Madrid, you have somebody that can deal with Vinicius. You can't just have one guy. Okay, how do the other teams deal with Vinicius Jr.? Because Real Madrid don't go undefeated the whole year. So tell me, how do the other teams deal with Vinicius Jr.? Because they don't have a Kyle Walker. Because I'm sorry, man. Kyle Walker, nah, man. Like, even with John Stones, sometimes we think, you know what, when players reach out of their prime, the decrease will be like slow, steady, almost like turning down the stove nice and steady. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it just drops. Like, guys just fall off a cliff. We've seen it before. And I think we're seeing it right now with John Stones and Kyle Walker. Because they were terrible. I think John Stones was a lot better in that second half. Kyle Walker was just terrible the whole game. The only thing he did well was that one shot on goal that he had was a pretty decent effort. That was the only thing for me that he did well. In that second half, I remember I sitting in my watch along with the game. And in the 89th minute, I was like, why does Kyle Walker have the ball? Because I know he's about to give it away. And what did he do? He gave it away. We have to have some serious... I think everybody, the majority of Manchester City fans will probably agree with me when it comes to Kyle Walker. But I think with John Stones, we're going to have a serious conversation, guys. Because this guy hasn't been good in a minute. John Stones hasn't been good in a long time. I don't remember the game where I saw John Stones... I can't remember the game off the top of my head where John Stones played well. Tell me the last time John Stones played for Man City and he played well, because he got yanked in the FA Cup final. I don't remember the last game, and he's been injured majority of last season. And I think those injuries are starting to catch up to him. John Stones is 30 years old, but he's in the body of a 36-year-old man because the amount of injuries that he's sustained throughout the course of his career. And that is why when you see doctors or when you've injured something, or you go for physio, you just try to, they always tell you, surgery is the last option. It's always the case. Even if you're not a professional footballer, if you're just a regular human being and you maybe tear something, they always tell you surgery is the last option. We're going to try and resolve it via non-surgical means. If that doesn't work, then as your last option, you have surgery. Because when you get cut open, human beings aren't meant to be cut open. When you get cut open, as much as John Stones has been cut open, you are bound to lose a couple of, maybe years. You probably add a couple of years on it. He might be 30, but he's in the body of a 36-year-old man simply because of the injuries that he sustained. I think we're probably going to be in for a centre back, if not in January, in summer, because John Stones. Look, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll have to sit here and hold it. And maybe John Stones just had a bad game, but I don't remember the last time I watched John Stones in a Manchester City shirt have a good game. I don't remember it. I don't remember off the top of. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section the last game he played well, but I don't remember it. But then in the second half, Rodri comes on, Gvardiol comes on, and we were decent. Still some really bad passing. Like, if you were giving a grade, judging it according to Manchester City standards and the standards that we have set over the last 10 years, passing F. Except for Erling Haaland, attacking F. Defending F. Like, it would just be F's all over the place. If you compare it to our standard, like if you compare it to other people's standard, yeah, maybe a decent game. But in that second half, we came better. Rodri, as soon as he came on, you could see the control. The control was a lot better. We controlled the game a lot better. Because in that first half, when's the last time you saw not a Liverpool, not an Arsenal, not a Real Madrid, not a Barcelona, not a Bayern Munich? When's the last time you saw a team, and no disrespect when I say this, a team of Brighton's level come to the Etihad? under Guardiola and have more possession than Manchester City. When's the last time you said that? When was the last time a team the level of a Brentford, no disrespect, when's the last time you saw a team like that come into the Etihad and have more possession than a Pep Guardiola coached Manchester City team? Because I don't remember. I don't remember a game. But in the second half, look, I believe we should have killed the game. There was a couple of opportunities that we had. Early on, Haaland, a little bit unlucky. Flecken, a couple of unbelievable stops. But yeah, at this point, I remember like in the 85th minute, in the 70th minute, let me say 75th minute, I was just saying, hey, look, let's just win the game. Let's just win the game. The main goal, just win the game. And we did that, and we moved. I'm not really going to dwell on this performance too much. I'm just going to look at it. Bad day at the office. Maybe we didn't prepare as well as we should have. Maybe it's coming back from there. This is why I don't like this. This is why I don't like international breaks. Maybe it was just that maybe that little drop off after an international break. We were not very good today, but we got the 3 points. Put the pressure back on Arsenal. Now Arsenal have to win tomorrow. Arsenal have to win tomorrow, and that's what I wanted, to put that pressure on them to go out there and actually try to have a go at Spurs. Because if we play like that against Spurs, against Arsenal, we will get dealt with. I don't care if they don't have Odegaard. Arsenal are a good team, and if we play like that, we will get dealt with accordingly. But hey, 3 points in the bag. Let's not dampen the mood too much. We got through it. We knuckled down. Isn't that what they say? A sign of a good team is a team that doesn't even if you don't play well, you still manage to get the 3 points, and we did that. 4 out of 4, top of the league. Hey, now we get to sit back and enjoy the weekend. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. So I see you guys again. Thank you, and God bless.